Hello, welcome everyone. This is Amy, Mystic Rose Tarot. I did a reading last night that I found very, very interesting. This is a reading for myself. I've been doing a little bit more evening meditation readings that are providing some really wonderful guidance. And so, what I want to do is share this reading that I did for myself, but share it with you because maybe some of you are going through shifts. We're in the mid part of the year already. And so, in the next month or two, people are going to start going back to school. We're going into a new tier of how we're going to be socially interacting, and lots of changes and a lot of preparation. So I figured right now, midpoint where we are in this year, that that I start doing a little bit more evening meditations with my tarot readings, and I keep these readings very short, no more than probably 4 cards. Last night I did pull 4 cards, and um, and use whatever came to me, whatever the guides, the counsels have directed me to bring it in and um, see what I can make of this in my world, and also share it with you. So just to get right to it, to explain my evening meditation, um, I have a little, like a little notebook on the side of my bed, and I keep track of the readings, um, the phase that the moon is in, and see what energy uh, the phase of the moon is in, what sign it's in, the time that I did the reading. And I take that all into account and I keep a record of that. And so I can reflect and see what transitions, what shifts have occurred in the time that I started doing these readings, which actually goes back. I think this journal that I have is probably at least 5 years old. And they're very simple. Just write down the cards. I don't write down my thoughts or anything. I write down the cards because I know from the energy that I see in the cards, um, I'll remember the meaning. There's no need for me to write down my thoughts. Um, so usually what I do too is when I do an evening meditation, and everyone's different. Um, the reason why I choose the evening as opposed to the morning, um, you're winding down your day. You've done your routine, you've gone to work, you've eaten, you've hopefully relaxed, wind down a little bit, take a shower if you do or not, and read a book. And so that energy starts calming. And so I feel if you're in a place like that, and even this applies also when you wake up in the morning, sometimes people feel more drawn to do readings in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I'm more of an evening person, but not late night. So I do my things, and once I go through this whole process, and I crawl into bed, and if I feel the calling to do a reading, I don't put a question, because whatever energy, wherever I'm holding at that moment that I'm ready to draw from these cards or a card, um, my guides will lead me accordingly. These are universal energies that I um, bring in to guide me for my reading. So I don't go in with a question, how's my next day going to go? Um, I don't like questions like that because you'll get a reading and it could end up not being the reading that you're expecting, and deep down that could, play a role into how you will do things the next day, whether it happens or not. And if you get a reading, you don't really want a reading that's going to hold a lot of thoughts in your mind before going to sleep. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I do is I just pull cards. No intentions, and trust the guides around me uh, to tell me what I need to know. And then you take those cards in or a card if it's just a one card draw, and that becomes your dream guide. So that's why I like to do it in the evening, because I've noticed sometimes when I do evening meditation readings, and you look at the card or cards that you pull, remember the influences of those cards and see what you dream and see if those influences from those cards played a role in your dream. The psyche is very strong, sometimes, when it comes to reading, we pick up subtle things. It could be a particular um, what is it? It could be a particular creature, a particular environment that you bring in. You go to sleep, the next thing you know, your dream's sort of evolving around what you took in from one of these cards or all of these cards. So that's why I feel the evening meditation's good, because then you can start processing and working through things. Maybe these cards come in as guidance for something that may have happened a long time ago, and the timing was right to receive these cards. So for me, the evening works a lot better, and my energy is a lot stronger in the evenings, but I'm not late night. Nothing past, 10 o'clock, where my energy is really tired and all I need to do is just maybe, um, read a book. I won't do a heavy reading, but I want to go to bed not wound up with a lot of information. So the reading for me is almost like a lullaby that I could take in and look. So that's my explanation as to how I do my evening meditation readings. Um, no expectations, no questions. Now everyone's going to do it differently, as I mentioned. So if there is something on your mind, I would suggest not doing a big reading, maybe one card. Ease into your sleep. You don't want to have a large reading in your mind and you're processing all this information. Okay, so again, like I said, there was no particular question, but I've been seeing a pattern in this reading in relation to a reading that I did last week, and I'm seeing that it's still following. So the readings that I've been doing, the evening meditation readings I've been doing, I've been seeing a progression. I've been seeing a direction um, towards where I need to be, where I am right now, which I feel is pretty strong for me. So I'm working here with 4 different decks, but 4 cards, 1 from each deck. And the 4 decks that I chose, oh, I'm sorry, the 3 decks that I chose, I feel their energies work very well together. So I did a video, if you want to take a look, about the nature animal inspired decks I want to work with for the summer. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm working more focused on those energies. I'm holding back on the astrology for the summer months, so I could connect more in this realm, and not so much here, which the astrology does. A lot of information and preciseness of time and placement of the moon phases and the signs. It's a lot to process. So this for me is actually or more like extracurricular activity. So anyhow, I'm sidetracking. Let me just get right to the reading that I did. And feel free to leave comments, as always, anything that you feel that you could relate to. And if anyone's wondering, the moon's in Scorpio. We're also in the last few days of Cancer. We're going to be moving into the fire sign of Leo. So everything's been very watery. Everything's been very I'm not gonna say emotional, but just spiritually, um, I've been in that realm. So, um, taking this energy of the moon in Scorpio right now and the sun in Cancer, very watery. I'm connecting, in an interesting way with my readings. Okay, here we go. It's like, when are you gonna do the cards? So, first card I pulled, this is from the Witch's Wisdom Tarot by Phyllis Curott. I put down the names of the decks and the creators for these decks. So the first card I pulled from Phyllis's deck is initiation. So she created it's sort of RWS inspired, but she kind of changed uh, some of the meanings of the major arcana. Like this is normally two would be the magician, but here we're focusing more on the energy of the pilgrim, which is representative in this deck of the fool. So here we're seeing initiation, and there you go. It's going to take a while to focus, if it is going to focus at all. So here with initiation, we have this individual who's about to go on the journey, next phase of their life. So we see certain elements of someone who's traveling. We see the bag, the knapsack, and then in the background, very cute, is a shoe. One of the shoes that I believe she was wearing. And it's being carried away by the badger. We have this crow raven that's coming in to release, run away with the hat. The foxes are starting to be mischievous and taking the bag. So the initiation is just being placed in this new environment, um, this new realm that you will be going through. Doesn't have to be a physical environment. It could also be um, your own emotional environment, all these different levels, spiritual environment. But what's important here is to let go. What I was saying earlier, no expectations. So here we have the individual just taking a break by the water, getting at ease as to being on their own and their journey, and just not really thinking, just moving with the elements of where you are. There's no structure at this point. There is just an open environment to explore what's going to happen. But you're being initiated. This is where you're going to go. This is where you are. These are the elements that are there. Be prepared or not be prepared, I guess, for the unexpected. We don't know what's happening. So with the initiation, this card for me is pretty much taking another direction of where I'm going with my practice. And I feel this is a way for me to be introduced to new people that I'll be working with, which has already been happening, who I'm going to be connecting with, who I need to watch out for, who I need to bring in, uh, and to just, again, be aware, but no expectations. Be aware of the different experiences that you're going to be having. So I think that's very important with this card for initiation. And this can apply to you as well. Where is the next experience that you're going to be in? Where do you think it's going to take you? The next card that I pulled is from the Witch's Oracle by Sally Morningstar. So this card, I'm connecting with the Witch's Wisdom of Initiation. Okay, so I'm not relating anything like the 2 card for the Magician. I'm not relating it to that kind of energy. But in a sense, you can, because here we have an individual that should already have the knowledge of the energy of fire, air, water, and earth, connecting with those elements. And this is what the Witch's Wisdom is all about. It's all elemental. There's no reference to tools, but if you do have the Rider-Waite Smith and you want to break down this deck, if you do have it, in relation to the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles or coins, you can do that, because you can use that experience and place it into each of these cards in this deck. But here with the Witch's Wisdom, it's all Mother Earth oriented with those elements of fire, air, water, and earth. So the next card that I have here is the Spiral. Okay, and this is the Witch's Oracle by Sally Morningstar again. The spiral, we're looking at energy. Our key word here is attraction. How are we moving our energy? Are we moving this energy in a productive way? Are we moving it to create space, to make room for something that's going to work in our favor, have us grow, have us manifest? How are you using the energy in your practice as an individual to grow? And I love the representation here of the snake, the Kundalini energy, moving through the individual, going through the different chakras. Even though the chakras aren't indicated in this particular card, in this deck, there are a few cards where there are reference to the chakra points. But here with the spiral, it's what kind of energy are we moving at? What degree of force? Is it slow? Is it quick? We have to be aware of all of these um, energies when it comes to, going into a new experience. And also here, we see the hands are being reached up to the moon in its waning phase. And so it is during the waning phase where we release, we let go. And then when we get to the new moon, we start planning. We start planting these seeds. We start feeling where we want to be, how we want to move that energy. This is motivation. The spiral attraction here is all motivation. Where do we want this motivation to come from the most? Okay. And so for me, this card relates for me with the initiation card, which I'm going to show here. Okay, so we can see how these cards relate. We're seeing the journey beginning and what paths, what experiences we're going to be exploring during this time, and how we are going to react, and how we're going to assess the situation as we come across them. We want to put in good energy. We want to open up that space, as I was saying, to bring in something new, but something that we can learn from and grow from. And that's where the attraction part comes in. We want to bring in good energy. Let go of the negative. Create that space. Whenever you let go of negative energy, you're opening up. There's a healing process because it's negative. It's painful. It hurts. It could be undecisive. We need to get through that. And once we've made choices and we're clear, we have that space to bring in that which will self-empower us, that will enrich us in where we need to go. It's all the journey, okay? This can happen quick. This can happen over months, years, depending on what's being explored. And here with this reading, it is something very specific because of the patterning that I've seen with my previous readings. Okay, the next two cards that I have here is from the Animal Spirit Oracle by Krans. Okay, so here I'm working with the energy of an actual animal spirit, but also the spiritual aspect of the energy that comes through the fifth part of the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. The Animal Spirit Oracle deck, this book has gone through a lot. This is here by Krans. Works with elements. I'm a very strong elemental influenced practitioner when it comes to my work. So for healing in my readings and for my own practice. So the card that I pulled, interesting enough, because it's currently one of the cards that I used for my third Decan reading, which is posted on my uh, my most recent post on my YouTube channel is the third decan for the sign of Cancer. I pulled up a card, which is I believe it is the Four of Water, and I have whales in the background. And I just happened to pull this card from a completely different deck. See, again, Animal Spirit Oracle. So the whale is ideally about communicating, but we're communicating more at an emotional level, spiritual level, how we connect with our feelings with others within a community, within those that support each other. But this kind of connection that we have is very close knit. It's a small community. These are friends, family, people that you could trust in, and those that support you. The whale is also very highly intuitive. A lot of the water creatures are naturally intuitive because they're in that realm of the water. Um, it puts them into that subconscious state and allows them to really connect. They're smart, but I love this word, emotional intelligence. They use their emotions in a way that it is um, it is rational. They feel things, but it's nothing that's over the top. They are aware of their environment and they know of what's in those waters, and they are prepared. They are survivalists as well as creatures that are on land, creatures that are in the water, same thing. They have to protect themselves. So the whale has that support along with the dolphins and sharks and all those beautiful creatures. Also, the way the whale communicates, you hear them with their cry, their song. I shouldn't say it's a cry, but their song. And they also, similar to the dolphins, I believe the whales communicate through sonar. So they send out signals um, to their own if they are in need of help or if they need guidance. So the whale is something for me more at a spiritual realm because I am trying to um, grow deeper with that practice, but also to connect when I do my readings even more so. Uh, I mean, one thing that you could think about is like how deep can you go in your spiritual practice? And only you will understand that. Only you will know. It's like, wow, this reading really is intense. And if you're reading for yourself or you're reading for someone else, they will let you know. You know, they listen to them. And there's some people that you can read for. If you're very intuitive and empathic, they they can connect almost like to where you are as the reading is being told. I did a reading for someone a while ago, Scorpio, very intuitive. And as I was talking, she was almost saying the words that I was about to say to her. She she knew the reading and she understood it. And you know, she was as much as I was, she was very she was very intrigued by the outcome of how the reading came about towards her situation. So that's where it comes to, you know, you can connect with individuals even online. Some people, even though we don't see these individuals, they can go, yeah, I can only trust, you know, when they say, oh, yeah, this reading resonates, and then they email you separately and they give you more details about what's going on. It's actually it's nice to get that kind of feedback. And ideally, that's what we would like to have as tarot readers. We would like to get the feedback, um, but not constantly. Um, I'm considering doing another video from Anna Astrolady, who was talking about tarot readers and those who just, you know, make money and those who are really being authentic. But I may or may not have to decide about that. But to move on with this reading, so for me to have this whale card come up, and also in relation to the, what was it? The 4 of water for our last decan in Cancer, using the 4 of water from the A Witch's Wisdom, which showed whales and communicating, and finding that's a part just came very strong for me. And it's like, okay, I will continue doing this. I will continue working on my practice, but going, honing in more on on the emotional, intuitive side, like to really pay attention. That's what I'm feeling, that I'm being told here. Okay, the last card that I have here, also from the Animal Spirit Oracle, it's a black egg. Okay, so this is actually the spirit part of the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. Okay, so as I mentioned in this deck, it's broken up into elements, but then they have the 5th element as spirit. And the spirit is broken up into chakra points. And so they start with, it goes, this isn't the correct order. We have the dragon, we have the sea serpent, there's a unicorn, we have 2 different eggs, a black egg and a golden egg. And all of these in the book are representative of the different chakra points. This black egg is actually a card that I pulled on a previous reading, and it came up again. And the black egg rules this part, rules the throat, how we speak, what we speak, how we communicate, what we communicate. And when I saw this card, and also in line with the whales, like communicating, but we're communicating at a deeper level. And I appreciate this card coming up for me twice, because it's, I feel for me, and also it could be for you, that it wants me to be a little bit more clear with how I speak, being informed, but I think more informed at a spiritual sense. So I feel with the whale and the black egg, as I mentioned, it wants me to really connect a little bit further with my practice. Like I have this, but I still have more to explore. When I find those key points, to really pay attention to it, and and express this in my readings, but express it in such a way that it's more clear for those that I'm reading for, and also clear to myself. So the black egg, again, rules how we communicate, and sharing that information, but sharing that information in a way that it's clear for those who are receiving a reading, and also when you communicate with other people, social media as well. Probably be a little bit more mindful about what's being posted. So that's how I'm seeing this reading. So we have the initiation. Okay, starting this journey, we're moving ahead. Okay, no preparation. You have the basics of what's needed to begin your journey. Okay, we're bringing in an awareness of the environment that we're in. Okay, whenever you're on a journey, you don't want to be blind to what could be in that unknown place. You have to be aware. You got to watch, be prepared. But if a challenge does come around, know how to handle it so that you can continue moving on. And then with the spiral here, as we're on this journey, what are we releasing? What are we letting go? What no longer serves us? Okay. And then as we get to that new moon phase, what do we want to bring in? What's the attraction? Really think about what you want to bring into your life. It is so important. And I know for many who will see this, they may think at a physical level, which is good, but physical commodities are temporary and they don't last forever. Their value will change, their use will be will decrease over time, and then there's time to move on for the next thing. So that's again, think about it's like those 3 wishes. What are those 3 wishes that you would like to have? And that's probably not a good analogy, but in that sense, what is the most important thing that you feel you need to bring in? Attract it in. And then, of course, I have the whale and the black egg. So we're looking at spiritual, emotional communication, understanding the knowledge that we have, the environment that we're in, and expressing it in such a way that it is clear. And it's also coming, the throat chakra is the next chakra right below the heart. So we're moving all this energy upward from what we really feel strongly about and compassion about, and we're going to express it in that way. We're going to express it, we could say in a joyful way, but in a positive way, in a way that is reassuring, affirming, self-empowering. Whatever you say, whatever comes out of your mouth, whatever you express out is going to catch the attention of who you're speaking to or what you're writing. Okay. Yes, easier said than done, but if you keep practicing and watching what you say and listening to what you say and what you write and seeing what you write, um, you will come across as a grounded individual, focused, steadfast, and that implies consciously, but also inside, intuitively grounded, intuitively focused. You know, when doing these readings, we want to make sure we understand clearly what's going on. And so that's why with these 4 cards that I chose randomly, it was it's a wonderful message to have. So I want to share this with you. So if you feel from this reading that anything connected with you, please let me know. I know there's a lot of things that go on personally and privately. You don't have to express everything in the comment. You can also reach me via email and let me know how you feel. If you have any questions, please let me know. So this is the evening meditation. This is what I'm taking with me for the next few days. Because I don't feel a card every day is necessary. Some people need it, and that's fine, but I'm just saying for me, I don't feel it's necessary, especially when I have 4 cards and they all have very strong messages. This is something that can last me as a reminder into the week. So keep this in mind. My next readings I will be doing will be Wednesday. I'll be doing my live readings, and then at the end of the week on Friday, the 23rd, which is also going to be the full moon, I'm going to be doing two videos. One's going to be my Mystic Moon Monday because we're going to have the full moon in Aquarius, and then we're going to go into our first decan in the sign of Leo. So I'm going to create a separate video for that on that day. So I have a lot building up, which is wonderful because I want to share this with you. And I'm going to try and have a live guest to do an open discussion and Q&A with. I want to keep the guests quiet until I have everything confirmed. So that will be also this week as well, the later part of the week. So that's it. Have a wonderful evening. Remember to breathe and to be still. Create your environment that will get you to that place, that will give you that moment to just exhale and to relax so that you can ease into your sleep without any disturbances or any distractions. So keep your readings very light for the evening meditations. and and pay attention to what comes up in your dreams and see how they manifest the following day, if you do have any dreams. All right. Have a wonderful evening, day, everyone. I will catch you again soon. Thank you for watching.